Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabansi. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty interesting show. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, yesterday there was a story surrounding Zion Williamson. Now, what happened? Yesterday I was coming through the internet and I came across a video, right? And the video had a thumbnail. It was from Gilbert Arenas' show, his podcast, and had a thumbnail of Zion Williamson. So I immediately thought that, and because they said Zion Williamson finally comes clean. So I immediately thought that it was either Zion calling in or Gilbert Arenas was talking about a conversation that he had with Zion Williamson. Instead, what happened was this. I click on the video, and in the studio was Brandon Jennings, the moderator, who I forgot his name. Excuse me for that. Then you got Gilbert Arenas, and then you had Rashard McCann. And then you had another NBA player. I forgot his name. Oh my goodness, he plays for the Memphis Grizzlies. He actually had a good game in one of those games in the series between themselves and the Lakers. But anyway, they're talking, and then all of a sudden, you see Zion Williamson walk in the studio. And I was like, oh, this is pretty interesting. Now, obviously, I don't know where they produced this show. It can be in California. Who knows? I don't know. So anyway, he walks in the room, and then they all start talking. As they were talking, Gilbert Arenas immediately went into the thing about dieting and weights and the difficulties. Now, the funniest thing about it, and we can't show it because we don't own the clip, but the funniest thing was, you could actually see Zion Williamson, instead of going to go sit down, he's standing up behind these guys on the stage, and it was funny. So anyway, once Zion finally sat down, they started to discuss, his weight issues, and Zion Williamson, publicly admitted to some of the challenges that he has had, not just with getting in shape, but also getting back on the court and being in the right mental space. So what we want to do is we want to play a bit of this exchange for you guys here, and then we're going to come back and react to the comments. Take a listen to what they had to say in this particular exchange.
So the decision that you've made recently, for me, this is what my point is like the decision that you've made is to go against those temptations, that hardness, like, hey, man, it's hard, but you know what? There's something bigger at stake right now, and I'm about to make the decision to go against this temptation because I want to be one of the greatest to ever play. So that decision is the discipline to say, you know what?
Why we taking
So I know that, like I was saying to Xavier, like that discipline is a decision that you have to make, rather than just saying like, man, that cake, man, like this nigga over here,
You know what I mean?
the strawberry cake, man. When he leave, I'm gonna eat that anyway. I don't give a
Man, I think it just go back to, like I said, standing back there, man. It's just an invincibility trait. When you're young, you feel like can't nothing stop you, but then when you look back on your life, you really look at it like, man, the people who gave me wisdom, who like tried to nurture me, tell me, man, like you don't need to do that, you need to do this. They didn't try to force their way into your life. So at this point in my life, I'm just looking back at it like, man, who really gave me wisdom? Who really tried to put me on game to things? And like I said, man, at the end of the day, people gonna get their opinions, and what I can say is I do respect brutal honesty. I'd rather somebody be brutally honest with me than try to sugarcoat it, because at the end of the day, if they honest with me, I know what I need to do to fix it.
100%. Yeah. Real. And you look slimmer already, bro. You look like
You look
you're ready
happy,
to go.
man.
Yeah.
You look full of life. We've been there before. I've been there before, so I know, like, for real, like, genuinely, right? You always been a happy kid, man. So, like, we always wish that, like, come on, man, just like, we know the 27 and 12. We know you're gonna do that. We just want to see you just stay on that so you can be who you are. You know what I mean? So it's like, just seeing you walk by, like, you happy. So, you know what I mean? Just let that spirit take you with you. And
I love y'all stories, man. Y'all some real G's to the game, and I do appreciate that.
Hey, let me ask you real quick. This summer, has it been more cardio or more dieting? Like, what has been your thing that, like, all right, I can do that to help me get my weight off?
So the diet piece, I'm always able to come back each summer feeling good, looking good. Yep. But I would say it's more of just locking in on, like, flexibility, band work, because I think it's those things that will be able to keep me on the court longer versus just losing a bunch of weight and then coming to play and not being able to maintain that. So just, I mean, Bron got the blueprint.
Yeah.
I'm trying my best to follow
No, serious.
So you heard what was said. Now, if you listen carefully, Rashard McCants, he brought up the aspect of whenever you're faced with a tough decision, especially when it pertains to something related to self-discipline, and there's a trade-off, you always have to take a macro view on what it is you're actually doing this for, right? So I believe Rashard McCants gave a holistic approach to the situation. Gilbert Arenas also spoke about his challenges with eating properly. And I think based on what Gilbert Arenas said, I think Gilbert Arenas is someone, I could be wrong, that probably is predisposed genetically to be one of these people that just has probably a very quick metabolism. So there are people like that. I have people like this in my family, cousins, like these dudes, because we have a lot of tall people on my dad's side of my family. And these guys can just eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and not put on weight. It's crazy. You should see these guys attend a wedding or something. I mean, they could just eat and eat and they don't put on weight. But when Zion was talking about his challenges, I thought he gave an honest take, not just about his weight, but also about, seeking advice from people that are older, that have been around the block, that can give you, good advice, people that have your best interests at heart. But I think what Zion Williamson is facing is something that a lot of people are facing, which is trying to lose weight. And for some people, it's very easy. And for some people, it's not. No matter who the person is, though, you're going to need to have some level of discipline there. Now, in the case of a Zion, okay, I'll give you guys an example. Let's relate it back to me. Someone like me, I have a very unique kind of system where I can lose weight very easily, but I can gain weight very easily. For me, the simple solution is don't eat carbs. I can lose a ton of weight if I don't eat carbs and I exercise, and I can gain weight extremely quickly if I eat carbs and I don't exercise. That's how it works for me, right? Now, the challenge is the mental aspect of it, trying to be disciplined long enough to see yourself through it, especially when you may not see results immediately. Because when I was going to college, I was extremely fit. I used to run 3-4 times a week, sprint, all kind of stuff. So it was very, very easy for me to stay in shape. Now where I'm living, it's not as easy because of security issues and stuff. You can't just say, I'm going to, no. It's a totally different thing. But there are people here that are fit too. But then you now have to look at the second thing, which is access to healthy foods. And that is something that Zion does have. Zion does live in the States, so he can pretty much afford any kind of food he wants. And number two, he has the resources to hire a chef, a very good chef, might I add you. He can get a chef that can cook him something 5 days a week. If you eat 5 days a week and you're eating good, the other 2, you can do whatever the hell you want, to be quite honest with you, once you've gotten there, right? I don't believe in just going cold turkey. That's just totally unrealistic. But Zion has the resources to ensure that he can eat the proper foods to ensure that his weight is regulated. But if you also listen, he also mentioned something that he's not so, transfixed on his weight. He's also focused on his elasticity and his ensuring that his body can remain durable. And then ultimately he looked at, he mentioned LeBron, and he said LeBron has, LeBron left the blueprint, which could be true. But again, you can't make this mistake of thinking, okay, because something worked for that guy, is going to work for me. LeBron obviously has a different body, has a totally different system. So maybe the things that LeBron does, it may not work for him. It may work for him, but I guess it's finding the right balance and the things that work for you. I give you an example. There are a plethora of healthy foods to eat. What if LeBron just likes to eat broccoli, chicken, and, sweet potatoes? Now, it's healthy, but what if you don't like any of those things? Are you going to force feed yourself that because, that's what LeBron eats? No, because LeBron is a different human being that has a different palate, taste palate. So he may like different things, taste buds or whatever. He may like different things. But to me, I like his self-awareness. I think he did mention this stuff with all of the drama that he went through by talking about people giving him sound advice, because he was definitely being taken for a ride, I believe, whether he knew it or not, spending that amount of money on somebody for a month. And you may not realize it. You're going to look back years from now and realize you blew some M's on some nothing. But hey, these are my thoughts. What I want to know from you guys, what do you think about this exchange? What do you think about some of the points we lay bare here? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. And also make sure you check out the full show that we're publishing today on the Dreamerspro podcast that we have pinned in the comment section below. Make sure you check that out there.